I've set myself a challenge here to see if I can get one of these journals said in a 10-minute YouTube segment. That's not been working out so well recently. This is Happy Envisioning, Power of Vision to Create, from 5/24/2010, the second of the day, the Mayan day, 11 Flint. Our vision's been trained and taught intensively to look for differences, to distinguish. There's certainly value in this, of course, wise and quite useful to be able to tell a charging cheetah from a house cat. But it's gone to such extreme that we've both lost our own center and our union. Well, let's get them back. Let's own our journey too, my friends. Let's cease the finger-pointing, the griping, and blaming long enough to see the union in us and in all things. Whatever we are pointing to, we are that, you know. At some level, we are that. Yes, of course, let's consider quantum entanglement. As usual, with the dark force, the manipulators, they take a good thing, but take it to such extremes that it loses all value, loses its original shape and design, the divinity there. Distinguishing differences is most useful. Looking at your fellow man or at any form of life and not seeing yourself in it, that's not so useful. It leads to the world we've created all around us. So, what to do? Nothing. Remember, no doing is called for. We fix this, to use a common word, by our being, not by our doing. And how is that? How does that work? It begins with vision. We've got to train our mind to see the union, to focus less and less on the division, on the things that divide us. As we cleanse our vision of this duality, this polarized and fragmented way of seeing, our outside world will reflect those inner changes. Remember, all life is fractal. As above, so below, and as below are internal changes, so above in the outside environment. Do you see, or at least begin to? I know many of you see this, and see it quite well, and with no assistance from me. And I apologize for taking you over old ground again and again, but even for you, there are new blessings in hearing this, if you will have them. For when I write or speak, there goes an energy vibe, a blessing flowing through both of us and out into our world, if you'll let it. How does it flow out like that? By your very own sight, your vision, by what you see when you look at the world. That brings the blessing. To the extent that all our vision is cleansed, especially of the separateness virus or disease, to that extent can flow the divine light, the light of creation. Yes, it can flow through you and me, through all of us. It takes clear vision, though, to bring delight. Clear vision creates impurity, and so magnifies purity and beauty all around. To the extent that our vision is cloudy or impure, then we create that. In a certain sense, which can be seen on the inner dimensions by clairvoyance, we create what we see. Our vision itself is a creative power. We use it all the time, but do we do it wisely? I know there are so many among our number here on Gaia who are so who are so well aware of the power of vision that they participate in regular gatherings for the purpose of simply seeing a desired outcome. This is powerful. This works. Our youth know this especially well. You can go to heartmath.org and discover much scientific backing for the work of vision, the work of heart, when joined with mind. It is powerful stuff, and the HeartMath folks have been performing the experiments, gathering the data for decades now. They are the ones behind the Global Coherence Project, by the way. That's their baby. Yep, links in the transcript. Vision changes things. That's the bottom line here. Vision changes things. Yours, mine, that of the collective. It is in this way that we are empowered to bring in a new earth. We can begin to see it, to consciously set our intent to see and focus on a beautiful vision of what can be. We've got to take our eyes off separateness long enough to do this, though. We geometrize the power of our vision by purifying it and by not feeding the darkness with it. Yes, I hear those minds spinning out there, trying to connect what was just said with the embracing the darkness and my foray into that. Settle back down into heart, please. It all makes heart sense. It will all come together if you stay in heart. Let mind wonder if it wants to do that. Just leave it alone and get back in heart, if you please. Mind will distract you like that constantly if you will let it. It will have you chasing one scent trail after another until you've quite lost track of the main theme, the point that you started with. Well, just don't listen. See it, yes, notice it, recognize it for what it is, then just go on. Choose not to go down that route, that of mind. Thus, we put into practice our power and habit of observing. We begin more and more to recognize the mind at its little tricks, and to not be fooled into wasting our creative energy on them. We have far better things to envision. Thank you very much. We have a new world to create here, and we can do it. So, let's not put our vision of our new world on anything that's unseemly, that's impure, or imperfect. The porno's got to go, folks. Let's train our sight to see higher vision of purity and light. Let's school our vision and our mind in new ways of being, of seeing. That's a doing, you know. Only that's a godly doing, which is done by being. Being the highest, finest, best that you can is an acknowledgement of the true divinity that beats our hearts, that feeds our bones. Did you know that the blood is created in the bones? Curious, isn't it? Blood cells originate in bone marrow. So, even though we're not used to seeing it that way, even our bones are involved in the circulation of blood through our body. We are indeed a sacred creation. It is time we begin to both see that and claim it as our own. Even in our humanity, there is the divine. It is everywhere. There's nowhere that it's not. This is no religious God, mind you. This is simply life, capital L, divinity embodied, clothed with form, is life. We are that. Happy envisioning.